Wow, Captain Vane was beyond serious about wanting to end Captain Flint. At least Eleanor was there to save the day and keep these two from killing each other.
He can't let it. Neither can I.
Thankfully, Captain Flint survives Vane's attack and Vane's abs live to see another day. Meanwhile, we see Rackham out on the open sea, his dream of being a captain realized. Featherstone is supportive, even though Rackham doesn't really know what he's doing. Rackham looks as excited as any schoolboy when he looks over at Featherstone and says, "Do you hear it? No women." Rackham, you've been getting a lot of action from two hot women. I don't know why you'd complain. He even sees a ship he can steal from and everything looks great until he sees a competitor's ship coming his way. Nothing is ever easy on the open sea. Flint decides to explain to Vane, Eleanor, Captain Guthrie, and Miranda why he needs to get Abigail Ashe back to her father. He wants Nassau to be part of a governing body on its own, but Vane wants no part of it. Unless, of course, Flint is willing to part with the man-of-war ship, which, of course, he's not willing to do. As usual, Eleanor is all about doing whatever Flint says, so she tries to convince Vane, and when he won't relent, she takes matters into her own hands and promises Flint he will get the girl if he won't get into a fight on the beach. Which is trickier than it sounds because Flint's men are on the beach just itching to get in a fight with those men in the fort. Max is having her own troubles now that Bonnie has been thrown off by Rackham, mainly because now Bonnie has lost her mind and is now, killing people. She is a legit pirate. But while Max is dealing with this issue, she also has no business because Flint has forbidden his men from coming to the brothel at all. The only one who is getting any work at all is Charlotte, and that's because one of Flint's men is disobeying the rules. Spoiler alert, he's going to regret breaking Flint's rule. But now it's time for my favorite part of the recap, and that's where I announce this week's Pirate of the Week. There was only one choice, Jack Rackham. He's finally on the open sea, and even though it's obvious he doesn't know exactly what he's doing, he ends up making good decisions that save his crew. And what more can we ask for? He's hot, got his booty, and he saved his men. Winner! Vane thinks he's getting away with manipulating Eleanor, but she is a woman with one goal in mind. Even his abs can't be that persuasive. Now let's break down the most pivotal moments from this episode. Bloodiest moment. Although there's a fight on board Rackham's ship that ends in bloodshed, it is nothing compared to the bloodshed by Anne Bonny at Max's brothel. Flint's crewman pushes her way too hard and she just cuts his throat and then she stabs Charlotte like 6 times. I actually had to look away. Don't mess with Anne Bonny. Which leads to my most protective moment. Max comes upstairs to see the blood and death in her place of business, and then she decides to offer Bonnie protection. She tells her that none of the consequences are going to touch her, and she's true to her word when John Silver comes up to the brothel and sees all the blood everywhere and his crewmen dead. She totally protects Bonnie. Revealing moment. Billy is back on shore and he starts to weave the tale of what happened to him after he was left off the Walrus. He says Captain Flint saved him. He also tells some of the other men, though, that he has 9 pardons available if they capture Flint and bring him to the English. So I guess we know what Billy's up to. Most decisive moment. Rackham is between a rock and a hard place when the other pirate captain comes on board and offers to share the spoils of their jointly captured ship. Rackham is faced with a choice. Either he can stand up to the man and earn the respect of others, or he can take the deal and appear weak. He ends up starting that fight and accidentally kills the other captain, at which point he makes a rousing captain speech and saves the men and the money. See? Pirate of the Week. In the end, we see Vane and Eleanor about to get it on, and apparently they do, and she leaves a sleeping Vane in bed and goes to get the keys so she can go do what Flint wants her to do, which is get Abigail Ashe out of the prison cell. I predict that Vane does not wake up from his passionate night in a happy mood.